you strive to demystify machine learning careers for what you call non-traditional candidates. So, what do you mean by that? What's a non-traditional candidate? And what are the biggest myths that aspiring machine learning practitioners or MLOps practitioners face when entering the field?
Yeah, absolutely. So a non-traditional candidate. To me, a non-traditional candidate is someone who, first off, does not have formal study in the discipline or domain that they're going into. They are candidates who also potentially come from families who don't have a history of formal study in that area, and also who, I would say are like middle class or come who essentially don't come from upper class families. I consider family to be lower middle class. So candidates who maybe don't have all the resources and time in the world, candidates who are also job changers, they have other commitments, who essentially don't fit this mold of the person who went through an Ivy League education, who came from a family that had, access to resources, um, and then sort of kind of followed this path of then going into engineering. I am really interested in candidates who are very much so like myself, where you didn't have family or you didn't have that roadmap sort of paved for you. And maybe you had to be really scrappy, and maybe you still have to be really scrappy in both time and resources. And so those are the people that I'm very interested in helping out because I see a lot of myself in them. In terms of um, the myths, and this kind of came out to both in terms of my career working in data analytics and data science, but also too as I was kind of developing that personal roadmap for myself. The big one to get out of the way is formal study. So because MLOps, and its parent DevOps, they're really about building tools, and a lot of that building is being done in industry. It's not being taught in classrooms. So on the one hand, having a formal CS background, it does help. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I don't want to say either that it is a prerequisite for having a successful career as an MLOps practitioner. Um, the second myth that I sort of want to take out is that you need to be a deep learning machine learning expert to be successful in MLOps. You need an appreciation and understanding of the workflows and the stages that data scientists go through. But I feel like a lot of that can be gotten from, first off, practicing empathy, talking to and working with data scientists, understanding kind of their world perspective and how they operate, and being able to do research. That is a huge part of it. Is I do so much research, especially that's the hardest part in developing the courses. Is I'm reading blog posts, I'm talking to people, I am asking really stupid questions on forums that people are kind of not to dunk me for. It's a lot of that is figuring out what is going on right now and being able to consolidate that into actionable stuff. Those are empathy and research are much more valuable skills than necessarily being an experienced practitioner or working practitioner in machine learning. Um,
Nice.
I would say the third myth is that it's all about the tooling. It's really not. The tooling will come and go, and I'd say we're really like at the beginning of the explosion of like potential tools in MLOps. I really think it's about the foundational knowledge and practice. I think that is more important than like being an expert in tooling. Um, and the fourth one I want to sort of just get out there is accreditation. I talked about like, you don't need a prerequisite. You don't need to have studied the field, but more importantly, I think I like certificates because they give me a structure for how to approach learning a specific topic or tool. But at the end of the day, it really is about can you build stuff? So I think credentials and certificates are really useful in the learning process, but I don't think they will help as much as like building actual software, building programs,
Right,
building
right, right, right,
pipelines.